For the past 3 years, I have perfected my time management strategies to really help me consistently work out 4 to 5 times a week, maintain a healthy diet, post on YouTube once a week, manage multiple side hustles, all whilst working full-time in finance in corporate Asia, and while still making time for things that I love, like reading, spending time with loved ones, Netflix, and just generally having fun. But most importantly, I figured out a way to do all of that without going insane and without burning myself out completely. So today I'm going to spill all my greatest time management hacks and surprisingly simple habits that you can start implementing today so that you can do the same and make time for all the most important things in your life. Timestamps below as always because I value your time. But before we get into it, if you are new here, hi, my name is Tika and I quit my corporate job earlier this year to pursue a life on my own terms. On this channel, I share everything to do with self-improvement to help you live your healthiest, wealthiest, and most fulfilling life. So if that sounds like your jam, then do subscribe. The first habit is task pairing, and this is genuinely one of my most favorite time-saving hacks ever. Task pairing is almost like the cousin of multitasking, but done in a way that's actually efficient and works. We all know that multitasking is not good and that our brains cannot focus on more than one thing at the same time without our focus on each task being compromised in some way. So for example, if you wanted to write an essay whilst also writing a YouTube script, it's really difficult to do so because not only are you switching between tabs, but you're also switching your brain from essay writing mode into YouTube scripting mode. And that just means that you're not really writing the essay well and you're also not really writing the YouTube script that well either. But in my opinion, multitasking is only bad if you're trying to do two mental tasks at the same time or two physical tasks at the same time. So the way to get around this is to pair a physical task with a mental one. This is what I like to call task pairing, and I'll give a couple examples of where I use this in my day-to-day life. So usually at the end of my workouts, I like to do some form of cardio, and usually that's either the Stairmaster or just walking on an incline on the treadmill. And what I like to do during these times is I like to pair that with doing things that require mental effort. For example, replying to messages or replying emails or scripting and writing notes for my next YouTube video. Another example is when I want to learn something from a podcast or an audiobook, I often tend to pair that with when I'm doing physical tasks like my house chores, meal prepping, doing my laundry, cleaning the house. And that has worked really well because I'm killing two birds with one stone. The second thing I like to do is plan my week in advance. So every Sunday evening, what I will do is just take 10 to 15 minutes in order to plan the week ahead of me. On my calendar, I usually have my fixed recurring tasks already on there. So for example, when it comes to gym and working out, that's always in the afternoons on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And Wednesday mornings are always dedicated to filming my YouTube videos. And then around those recurring tasks, I will schedule all the other things that I need to do in that particular week. Like for example, if I have some events I need to go to, or some calls with people that I need to have, or when I'm gonna do my grocery shopping and meal prep. Planning my week in advance means that throughout the week, I don't waste time thinking, oh, what am I gonna do today? Or what should I do next? And with this, what I like to do is make sure that I batch similar tasks together in one block of time. So for example, on Wednesday mornings when I film for my YouTube video, my thumbnail video, as well as all my B-roll. And that's because I only need to set up my camera one time. I only need to wear makeup and get all dolled up and stuff one time, and I can just do everything in one go. And on Thursday morning, I'll just have a few hours block where I purely just do YouTube scripting and nothing else. Saturdays is also when I do a lot of my house chores, so that's when I do cleaning, laundry, and all the rest. So this is sort of avoiding what I was talking about earlier with the whole task switching thing. When you're batching stuff, you're just focusing on one type of activity at a time, and this will help to improve your focus and the quality of your work as well, and just make you a lot more efficient. The next thing is on time blocking, and I think this is genuinely one of the most life-changing things that I started doing in the past couple of years. And time blocking is pretty self-explanatory. It's basically assigning a block of time during the day to doing a specific task, and then you just have to make sure that you don't go over that time no matter what. So I'm usually pretty strict with this, and for example, what I'll do with my YouTube scripting is in the mornings I would plan out a 2-hour block where I'm just fully focused on scripting. And for me, I really hate leaving tasks unfinished, so it forces me to just get that thing done within the 2-hour period that I've allocated for myself. What I found is that when I put constraints on a task, it forces me to be more efficient, and it also makes me less likely to fuck about on my phone, for example, because I know I only have this period of time to get that thing done. Time blocking is such an efficient way to combat Parkinson's law, which is basically that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. How many times have you been in a position where you have 2 weeks to write an essay and you literally take the entire 2 weeks to finish it? Whereas realistically, if you wanted to get it done within just a week, then you you could. If you really think about it, deadlines are pretty arbitrary things and you can get things done in whatever amount of time that you're given. Like if I told you, you need to finish that essay not in 2 weeks, but in 1 week, you'll figure out a way to get it done within that 1 week. And so this is why time blocking and putting constraints on your tasks and giving yourself those internal deadlines is so effective at managing your time well. Next is on automation and delegation. I would encourage anyone to automate as much as possible in your life. And one main area in which I've applied this to is my own personal finances. With my recurring payments like my bills and my rental payments and also paying my insurance, these are things that I've completely automated so that I don't need to set reminders on my calendar to tell me, oh, by this date, make sure you pay rent or you pay your bills. Another thing that I like to automate is also the money that goes into my savings account and also my investments. So on a specific day for every month after my money comes in, basically I have already automated this amount is going to go into my savings and then this amount is going to go into my investments. And so that's also another thing that I don't have to mentally keep tabs on. The second piece to this point is on delegation, and this is basically just hiring someone to do a task for you that you either don't like doing or just don't have the time to do. There definitely is some cost in this option, but if you're able to comfortably afford doing so, then it is honestly the biggest life hack ever. And to be honest, I don't know why we don't normalize this enough. I feel like it is normalized in the entrepreneurship sphere, but a lot of people have hesitance in hiring others to do things for them. Like, I don't know, I feel it's a bit taboo to like hire a cleaner, for example. It's like, bro, why are you so lazy? You're not cleaning your own room. Like, it's not about laziness or anything. It's more just like trying to leverage as much as possible so that you can do and focus on the things that are going to give you the most return on your time. Like for me, deep cleaning the house is not a good return on investment on my time when I could otherwise be using that time to building my business or building my YouTube channel or doing something that's gonna give me a higher return, if that makes sense. So for example, back in Malaysia, what I used to do was I hired a cleaning service to actually clean up my place every month. And to be honest, I was able to do that because it was so cheap. Like I paid 40 ringgit every month, which is the equivalent of less than 10 USD. But now that I've moved to Australia and things are a bit more expensive, it's not cost effective anymore, and so I don't do that. There's so many areas of life that you can outsource to other people, and you just need to be a bit creative about it. So for example, if you are someone that really doesn't like researching what recipes to cook and you're not really bothered, but you still want to like, maintain a healthy diet, what you can do is just pay for like a meal prep service company. So companies like HelloFresh, for example, where they will just send all the ingredients to your house. They have the recipe prepared. All you have to do is just follow the instructions. And so that means you don't have to research and think for yourself and even go grocery shopping if you don't like doing that. You can take it even a step further, and if you're someone who is maybe a little bougie and you can afford to do so, hire someone to cook your meals for you. Or if you wanted to take it a step back, then you can just order your groceries online instead of going to the grocery store every single time. And you save that time on the commute and actually picking out the stuff yourself. And of course, this doesn't just apply to personal life, it equally applies to business. If you have a business of your own and you want to scale it, then of course, hiring people to do stuff for you is going to help you to do that. Hire an assistant to get your admin tasks done and all your scheduling, or hire a general manager to sort of like manage all your headcount and all your other staff. The possibilities are really endless here. Number 5 is to have a digital detox. Your phone is your greatest enemy when it comes to time management. It is the biggest time suck on earth, and I think we all know this. We've all been in that position where we open our Instagram app or TikTok or YouTube or whatever, and we tell ourselves, yeah, we're just gonna spend like 5 minutes on here. But in reality, it just sucks you in somehow, and it hooks you in to the point where 30 minutes will pass by and you won't even realize. This has happened to me so many times where I'll wake up in the morning and I think, okay, it's early, I'm gonna be like productive and get started with my day. But then I can't resist the temptation of just scrolling on my phone for a little bit. And I always tell myself like, yeah, it's just gonna be 5 minutes, it's gonna be fine. And then I'm gonna get on with my day. And every single time without fail, I always spend way longer on it than I intend to. And I honestly just get so frustrated with myself when that happens. And when you're doing that several times in a day, those chunks of time that you spend on social media really does add up throughout the day. And that's why when you look at your phone analytics or whatever, you can see like, oh, how many hours you spend on Instagram, like on a daily basis, and it'll tell you something crazy like 3 hours. That's how that happens. So the easiest way to combat this, in my opinion, is just to download those social media blocking apps. There's a whole bunch out there, so just take your pick on the App Store. And you can set all the restrictions that you want through that app. But sometimes I feel like these social media blocking apps is not enough for certain things. So for me, that's YouTube Studio Analytics. I don't know why, that thing is just so addictive. So what I like to do nowadays is just completely delete it from my phone. So if you're someone who really struggles with certain apps like Instagram, for example. I know a lot of people do. What's helped me and what's helped a lot of other people that I know as well is just to completely not have it on your phone and just go full cold turkey with it. So these are all the habits that I've implemented in my life, which saves me so much time during the week. I hope these tips help you. Let me know in the comments below what time-saving hacks you guys personally use. Maybe I haven't mentioned them in the video, so I'd be really curious to know, and I might implement them for myself. As always, take care and see you in the next video.